Ever wake up expecting a serene day at the seaside only to have it wholly upended? Well, that's Omaha Beach for you. But instead of seagulls stealing your chips, it's chaos of an unparalleled magnitude. Picture this. Captain Miller, our steely-eyed protagonist, clutching onto the edge of his landing boat, probably reminiscing about simpler times, maybe sipping a latte at a beachside cafe. But oh no, not today. When those boat doors drop, it's as if someone yelled, "Surprise!" at the world's worst surprise party. Soldiers rush out, only to be greeted by a hailstorm of bullets, the staccato of machine guns providing the morning's terrible soundtrack. The water isn't invitingly blue. It's stained with the red sacrifice of brave souls. The ambiance? Screams, explosions, and the thudding heartbeats of young men trying to find cover. So much for building sandcastles, if one can call it that. The silver lining is Captain Miller navigating through this mayhem. His determination, his leadership, amidst all the pandemonium, is awe-inspiring. Spielberg doesn't just serve us a war scene, he plunges us into an experience, raw and unfiltered. So the next time you're at the beach, sunscreen in hand, and a little annoyed by the occasional sand in your sandwich, just remember, it could always be D-Day at Omaha Beach. Makes you appreciate that overpriced ice cream cone a little more, does not it? You know those days where you are given an almost impossible task at work, and you think, why me? Welcome to Captain Miller's world. His job is a tad more complicated than a tight deadline on a spreadsheet. Spielberg takes finding a needle in a haystack to cinematic extremes. Miller and his gang are not hunting for rare Pokemon, they are looking for one man, one single man, in the middle of a war. Because he's the last surviving brother of a family who've paid a heavy price. Talk about pressure! Just picture it. You have survived the absolute horror of Omaha Beach, you have lost friends, you are emotionally and physically spent, and then the big bosses hand you this new, seemingly impossible mission. It's like surviving a Monday from hell, only to be told there's an unexpected Tuesday right after it. But there's a silver lining. Captain Miller is not just any man. He is a beacon of hope, tenacity, and leadership. So if anyone can get this job done, it's him. Yet, the mission isn't just about Private Ryan. It's a journey about understanding value. The value of life, of one life over another, and of the bonds formed amidst the madness of war. And of course, Spielberg, being the master that he is, serves this up with heart-wrenching scenes, riveting action, and those deep philosophical moments that make you go, So, the next time you're handed a challenging project, just think of Captain Miller and crew wading through enemy territory, facing life or death decisions, all for one man. Suddenly, that presentation does not seem too daunting, does it? As Captain Miller rounds up his squad, it becomes clear not everyone's thrilled about this needle-in-a-haystack mission. I mean, finding one guy in all of France, might as well find a croissant in a bakery. And just when you think they found him, psych wrong James Ryan back to square one. Next up, our gang's in Neuville, where buildings crumble faster than my attempts at a diet. Between shootouts, there is this heartfelt moment with a French family. Miller's crew, already in a heated debate about the mission, now argues about a kid. It's like babysitting but with more grenades, the radar station, where communication breakdowns are not just between machines. Things go sideways, and our squad's medic, Wade, takes one for the team. The mood's somber, and when you think things can't get more tense, Miller spills the beans he is a school teacher. Talk about unexpected career changes. The age-old game of Where's Waldo? But Spielberg style, and let's just say, Waldo ain't got nothing on Ryan. You'd think in an age before social media and GPS, locating a single paratrooper in war-torn France would be a piece of cake, right? Ha! Think again. We start in the picturesque village of Neuville, which is, well, let's say it's seen better days. Buildings are more whole than walls, and the ambiance? It's all gunshots and artillery fire. If you have ever tried finding your friend in a crowded festival without cell service, amplify that frustration by 1,000. That's Miller and his squad wandering through a literal war zone, asking every Tom, Dick, and Harry if they have seen their man. Just when they think they have got a lead, boom! It's not our Ryan, it's some other Ryan. Oops, wrong number. Spielberg injects a dose of humor amid this high-stakes scavenger hunt, making us laugh and cry equally. And let's not forget the incredible interactions and dynamics among the squad. As they traverse hostile terrains and sticky situations, we see the camaraderie, conflicts, and the whole spectrum of human emotions. There's Wade, the medic, sharing a tender moment about his mom. And then there's Upham, the translator, getting a crash course in Combat 101. So as Captain Miller and his band of brothers trek through war, they are not just searching for Ryan. They're finding lessons about sacrifice, brotherhood, and the real cost of war. It's not just a manhunt, it's a soul search. So buckle up, because this is not just about finding Private Ryan. It's about discovering what humanity means in the face of chaos. All right, folks, brace yourselves. If you thought the Omaha Beach scene was intense, Spielberg is about to crank up the volume. Welcome to the Battle of Ramelle, where an intense standoff meets an even more intense underdog story. Picture this, a quaint little French town with rustic bridges and serene river views. But there's a catch. This is not the ideal spot for a summer picnic. It's a strategic point that the Germans want, and our heroes need to defend. Think of it as the ultimate capture the flag game, but the stakes? Oh, just the outcome of the war and the lives of our beloved characters. As the ever-resourceful leader, Miller knows he is outgunned and outnumbered. But does he retreat? Nope. With Ryan finally in tow, yep, they found him, and his squad of misfits, they devise a plan. Booby traps, sharpshooting, the works. It's like watching a lethal version of Home Alone, with Captain Miller channeling his inner Kevin McAllister. As the battle rages on, things get personal. Our band of brothers is not just fighting for some strategic point on a map, they are fighting for each other. There is Jackson, our Bible-quoting sniper, seeking divine intervention from his perch. Horvath, Miller's right-hand man, shows that loyalty means standing your ground even when the odds are not in your favor. And Upham? Oh boy, does he have a moment. Without giving too much away, let's just say that war brings out sides of people you'd never expect. As explosions light up the screen and tanks roll in like nature's fury, you can't help but feel a mix of dread and hope. Spielberg brilliantly juxtaposes moments of intense action with poignant pauses, reminding us of the human stories amidst the chaos. By the end, when the dust settles and the smoke clears, the Battle of Ramelle leaves us with a heavy heart, clutching our seats and reflecting on the actual price of courage. It's not just about strategy and warfare, but heart, sacrifice, and the lengths we go for our fellow man. Fast forward from the tumultuous shores of Omaha and the adrenaline-charged streets of Ramelle to a scene so calm, it almost feels surreal. Welcome to the modern day, where an older, silver-haired gentleman surrounded by his family stands amidst a sea of white crosses. It's a moment of reflection, a stark contrast to the cacophony of war we've just witnessed. Remember that intense feeling when you finish an epic book and just sit there, absorbing its weight? Spielberg brings us to the American cemetery in Normandy for exactly that kind of cathartic exhale. It's like a soft, whispered, "the end" after an orchestral climax. This is not just any elderly man, it's Private James Francis Ryan. The weight of the years is evident in his eyes, decades of memories, gratitude, and survivor's guilt. And as he walks, he is searching for that one grave. The grave of Captain John H. Miller, the man who, along with his squad, risked it all to save him. The realization hits hard, and suddenly, everything comes full circle. The gravestone, weathered but standing firm, serves as a silent testament to the sacrifices made by Miller and countless others. And as Ryan salutes, the emotions are palpable. He leans in, whispering words we all long to hear and say, "I hope I've lived a life worth the sacrifice you made." Humorously enough, if there was ever a place to have an existential crisis about making the most out of life, this is it. But Spielberg doesn't leave us in despair. Instead, he reminds us of the enduring human spirit and the cyclical nature of life. The past informs the present, and memories, no matter how distant, shape who we become. As the camera pans over rows and rows of crosses with the vast ocean in the backdrop, we are gently nudged to remember, reflect, and appreciate. War might be a tale of heroes and villains, grand strategies and epic battles, but at its heart, it's a story of individuals. Individuals like Miller, like Ryan, like each one of us. So as the credits roll and you wipe that sneaky tear from your eye, take a moment. Reflect on the stories that shape you, on the sacrifices made by those before you, and perhaps, just perhaps, ask yourself, how do I honor their legacy in the story of my life? In summary, folks, Saving Private Ryan is not just about saving a soldier. It's about sacrifice, the madness of war, and Spielberg's ability to make grown adults cry into their popcorn. And if this roller coaster of emotions does not make you want to rewatch the movie, you might just be a robot. Until next time, keep those tissues handy and always remember, if someone says earn this, you better step up your game.